And so as you find yourself in that comfortable seat, what I want you to do is to start to focus on your breath and pulling your breath, like coming in through your nose, through your whole body, down to your pelvic floor. So that space between your tailbone and your pubic bone. And even if like you don't feel it down there, which many of us don't, I want you to imagine that you feel your breath as you inhale, moving all the way through your body to your pelvic floor. And then as you exhale, what I want you to think about doing, if you've ever put on tight pants and you're trying to squeeze the sides of the jeans together and zip up, so you're pressing the breath out of the lower part of your body. So it's starting at the pelvic floor and moving its way up through your body and then out through the nose. And so there's a little bit of effort here, but not too much effort. So you're breathing in through your nose, pulling that breath through your body all the way to your pelvic floor. And then as you breathe out, using those lower abdominal muscles to help push out your breath and breathing out through your nose. Just noticing any sensation that might happen as you're doing that. Like for me, as soon as I even start thinking about doing this, I can feel my temperature go up a little bit. I can feel my muscles starting to engage in a different way. And so continuing to breathe in this manner. And after your next exhale, letting that go. And maybe your eyes are closed, you're in this comfortable position, you're a little bit heated from that breath. I'm going to invite you to bring your hands to your heart center, thumbs gently pressing against the sternum. And then as you gently press your hands, your fingertips and the heels of the hands towards one another, again, checking in with your torso to see how your muscles respond to that pressing in towards the center. And taking a moment to scan through your body. Right? So how does your body feel before we begin the physical part of the practice? And then, of course, we'll check in after we're done. And then after you have checked in, setting your intention for how you want to feel when we're done. And it can be like a specific body part or the things that we talked about before we started class, like being more flexible or whatever. So setting your intention, bend head to the heart, heart to the earth. And then we're going to find our tennis balls. So if you have tennis balls, after you set your intention, you might open up your eyes, find your tennis balls, and we're gonna take 2 tennis balls. So you're sitting, right? And your butt's gonna stay on the ground and you're gonna press the tennis balls in. So you don't lift up your butt and sit on them, right? So they're going right in front of your sits bones, the bottom of the pelvis. And then you're gonna roll one sits bone at a time over the tennis ball. And for some of us, that will be like, ah! And so you might not roll, you might move your knees from side to side. So the idea here is to start to, increase the flexibility of the connectors of the hamstrings into the pelvis. So for people who have really tight hamstrings, I always suggest this is a great place to start. And if it's too tense, move the tennis balls out a little bit. And there's lots of area to cover here, right? So you're exploring and moving in different ways. And if it hurts, you don't do it. Now, some of us could keep doing this for a long time. Some of us will be done really quick. When you are done, you're going to take those tennis balls out. And now you're going to have your knees pointing up towards the sky. And you're gonna lift one buttock. Again, you're not gonna put the tennis ball right under your sits bone, right? It's going into the center of the glute, and then move to the other side and place the tennis ball down. And then opening your knees out to the side, bottom of the feet touching one another, and then we're gonna rock side to side. And again, for some of us, it's going to be easy and some it will not be so easy, and just exploring. Now, as you're seeing how things feel here, eventually we're going to take one knee and bring it down onto the other one and just take one glute into that tennis ball. And this is where for some of us it's too intense, so you might come down onto your elbow and then lift your hip up a little bit. That will control how much weight is pressing into the tennis ball. And I know that some of you have done this lots of times with me, so moving in a way that works for you, right? So if you want to move on to something else with the tennis balls, you're welcome to do that. And then as you finish that first side, we're going to move over to the second side. And you're just noticing, like, how does this feel when I do this, right? Does it feel good? Do you wish you were doing something else? Yeah. And again, as you get to the second side, you might come down onto your elbow or not. And I like to start with, especially around the hips and pelvis, when we're gonna focus on the legs and the lower back, right? Because it all connects into this area. So the last thing we're gonna do with the tennis balls here, so you're gonna sit up, push the tennis balls into the back of your pelvis, lean back. You can be on your hands or your elbows, and we're gonna move the knees side to side or front to back. Again, the idea is that maybe it feels a little bit stretchy or burny, but no pain, right? Now, as you start to feel complete with this, and some of you will want to keep going a little bit longer, I want you to give a little bit of attention to your feet. So you're going to massage each foot with your thumbs and your fingers, and then use your fingers to go the top of the foot, around the ankles, and up the lower leg, circle around the knee, through the hamstrings, the outsides of each of the leg, and the top. So what we're doing here is stimulating, right? So waking up your nervous system, getting everything to, invite all the parts of our body to work together. And yes, we could do a whole class just on this, but we're going for the, quick wake me up, feet through the lower and then upper leg. And we're always going like from the tips of the toes up towards the hips, okay? Now, when you're done with that, before we move on to this next piece, I just want you to interlace your fingers. And I know that we're all gonna be in different places, so you just catch up and do what you want, right? So you're gonna interlace the fingers and we're gonna roll through the wrists. No right or wrong way to do this, right? And then you're gonna stop and go a few times in the other direction. Now, again, we're gonna stop and you're gonna take one wrist up and the other wrist down, and then switch it. And you're still breathing. So just check in, make sure that's still happening. We're gonna stop, wiggle your fingers, and we're gonna make our way onto our hands and knees. All right, so if you like a blanket under your knees, I know in the studio we can't use them, but if you're at home, you can. Wrists are gonna be slightly in front of the shoulders, knees slightly behind the hips. And you're gonna engage those lower abdominals. Interesting conversation in my mouth today. Okay, inhale is going to be up here with a flat back, exhale down towards child's pose. And you can do that a few times with your breath. Inhale up and exhale down. And I know we do this often, and that's because there's so much happening in this nice, simple yet not so simple pose, right? Notice what's happening in your shoulders and your hips and your back body. Now, the next time that you inhale up, I want you to walk your hands a little bit further away. And now the inhale, you're going to bring your hips towards the floor in front of you, and then exhale into your child's pose. And it would be really natural and normal for your hands to slide back a little bit as you come down. Inhale up and hips forward. Exhale, come up and your hips come back towards your heels. And we're going to do that a couple more times with your breath. And of course, if it causes you discomfort, you can go back to tabletop into child's pose like we started, or you can modify in whatever way you need to. Okay, now, next time after we exhale, you're going to make your way up to tabletop. Then you're going to make sure the heels of the hands, again, are slightly in front of the shoulders, knees slightly behind the hips, turn your toes under. Inhale, and then you're going to exhale, slide back into your down dog and pedal through your feet. And you're going to make sure that you're not putting too much weight on your wrists, so you want to use the whole hand, right? Index fingers pointing forward. Use your fingers, take the weight out of your wrists. So it's almost like a suction cup. You have a little space where the center of your palm is not on the floor. Now we're going to lift up the right leg, and you're going to keep the hip closed, the foot flexed, and you're going to sweep it forward into a lunge. And you might need to give that foot a little hand up so that the foot is underneath your knee. Right? Feet are still hip width apart. And you're going to notice your weight in your feet on the floor. You're going to engage isometrically, one foot towards the other, then hands up onto your thigh. An option might be to have your back foot, pivoted out with your heel on the ground if you can't find stability. We're going to reach the arms up towards the sky. If that works in your back, if it doesn't work, you're going to keep them down. All right, so now we're going to inhale up, exhale, hands down. You're going to take that front foot, reach it up towards the sky behind you. And then one more time, sweep it forward. Just getting used to that sweeping forward motion. Now from here, inhale, and then the exhale, we're going to step that back foot forward, so you're in your forward bend. Hands onto your legs, inhale halfway up, engaging those lower abdominals, exhale into your forward bend. Do that 2 more times, inhale halfway up, exhale into your legs. How's the breath? Now, next time that you're in your deep forward bend, we're going to step back with the left foot, right, into that lunge that we've been doing. Take your weight into your hands, step back with the right foot. We're going to come into a plank. How are you using your hands? And then we're going to slide back into our down dog, pedal through your feet. Keep breathing. And when you're ready, we're going to extend that left leg up, flexing the foot, hips stay closed, and you're going to sweep that left foot forward. And again, maybe it needs a little hand forward, feet hip width apart, about a leg's distance in length. Hands onto the thigh. You're isometrically pulling in towards the center, breathing. Possibly those arms come up if that works for you. Long, smooth breaths. How is your heart rate, your body temperature, your breath? On an exhale, we're going to take the hands to the ground. You're going to take that front foot up towards the sky. And again, finding your place here, right? What's going on in your body? On an inhale, we're going to sweep that foot forward. And again, on your next exhale, we're going to step that back foot forward into your forward bend, hands on the legs. Inhale halfway up. And exhale in towards your legs. 2 more times. Inhale halfway up. Exhale into your legs. And 1 more time. And then this next inhale, let's come all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart center. How are we doing? Great. All right, you're going to find a tennis ball. And so while you're here, we're going to roll 1 foot at a time. And if you do nothing else with tennis balls, this is what I recommend, right? That you roll your feet and you're noticing what's happening in your foot as you're rolling. You decide how much pressure. It's also a great time to like check in again with your breath, your heart rate, your body temperature. And we're going to switch feet. As we were going through that, did anybody come up with anything else they might want to add in? I know you said all over.
Breathing, you're touching on it. Perfect.
Yeah, I talked a lot about that.
Breathing,
Yeah. All right, so when you're done with your second foot, you're gonna have that tennis ball towards the front of your mat because we're gonna use that today again, okay? Now, let's come to the front of the mat, hands at your heart center. Now, at the very beginning, I had you breathe in through your nose and pull that breath all the way down through your body. I want you to try that for a couple of breaths standing up now. So breathing in through your nose, pulling the breath all the way down through your torso to the pelvic floor. And then as you breathe out, starting from the bottom up, and then out the nose. And imagine that as we, again, start to move through our practice, you're not going to possibly pull the breath all the way down your body, but be aware of where the breath is in your body as you move. So on an inhale, we're going to reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, come down into your forward bend. Inhale, slide halfway up the legs, and exhale in towards your legs. Next inhale, we're going to take the right foot back into a nice deep lunge. And this is where you're going to find your tennis ball. You're going to lift up that heel, the left heel, and place the tennis ball under the heel, not on your arch. So make sure it's back. You should have like a centimeter or so of yellow sticking out behind your heel. And here, while you're here, I want you to press down 4 points of the foot, each side of the heel, base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe. So all 4 points of your foot are pressing into the ground. Now you're going to imagine, and maybe you don't do it today because safety is most important, possibly bring your hands up onto your thigh. Right? So having the tennis ball there adds a little bit more of your core having to engage to find your balance. Right? Now on an exhale, we're going to bring the hands to the ground. You're going to take out that tennis ball. We're going to step the back foot forward and then switch sides. So now your left foot is back. Find your lunge first and then place that tennis ball underneath the right heel, isometrically engage, and then possibly your hands come up onto your thigh. Long, smooth breaths. And again, on an exhale, we're going to slide down, hands down to the ground. We're going to safely take out that tennis ball. And now you're going to keep your left hand on the ground. Right hand's going to come up onto the thigh. Belly and torso turns towards the inner thigh. Possibly right hand comes up towards the sky. Connect with your breath. Now you're going to, on an inhale, possibly come forward with your left hand back with the right. Inhale, both arms up overhead. And as you exhale, hands come down, back foot comes forward. Take breath, and then on your inhale, right foot comes back into your lunge. Right hand stays down on the ground. Left hand onto the thigh, belly, and torso towards that inner thigh. Possibly left arm reaches towards the sky. Long, smooth breaths. And on an inhale, possibly right arm forward, left arm back. Find your focus, your balance, your breath. Inhale, both arms come up. And exhale into your forward bend. Hands to the ground, back foot forward. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart center. So this is a great time, again, to check in. We're going to take a little bit of a wider stance, maybe as wide as your mat. Hands to the outside of the legs. And at first, I just want you to move your shoulders with your breath. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, slide those shoulders down your back body. Always get some great information here. Now, after your next exhale, you're going to exhale, bring your chin towards your chest. Again, only moving in a way that feels good. Inhale, you're going to bring those shoulders up. And exhale, bring them down. The head stays in the same position. Chin towards the chest. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders down. One more time. On the inhale, let's lift up the head. Now we're gonna take the heels of the hands together. Fingertips have that space in the center of the palms. Gentle pressure in towards the center, thumbs towards the sternum. Now I want you to feel your feet on the ground, the 4 points, base of the big toe, base of the pinky, each side of the heel. And as you inhale, you're gonna press into the center, take your arms up, and come up towards the sky, heels off the ground. Exhale, hands back to the heart center, heels come down. 2 more times with your breath. You never have to go at my pace. 1 more time. And you're just kind of noticing what happens as you move. Right? Next time your hands are at the heart center, we're going to release them, take them to the outside of the hips. Inhale, body up. Exhale, you're going to slide down one leg. Inhale, back up, and then to the second side. Now, as you're doing this, you might start to reach that outside elbow up. Always inhale, body center. Exhale, body slides down. And then if it sounds inviting, not only will you lift that outside elbow, you will turn your face towards the lifted shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, slide down. And I want you to think as you're sliding down, keeping your body in line with your legs. So it's not dropping forward, it's staying in that same. And it might mean you don't go as deeply. And you're just kind of noticing, and you're keeping your hands connected to your body and your legs as you're moving. Next time you do your second side, when you come up, again, I want you to feel your feet on the ground. And this time, as you inhale, we're going to take both arms up, come up onto your toes if appropriate for you, and exhale, come down. And it might feel a little awkward because we have the feet a little bit wider than our usual stance, right? 1 more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down. We're gonna add on to this now. We're gonna inhale, arms up, heels up, and as we exhale, we're gonna sit into a balanced chair. So if possible, your heels are still up, your arms are forward, your butt is sticking out behind you, but you've engaged those lower abdominals to support the lower back. Now heels come down. Inhale, exhale, slide into your forward bend. Take your hands onto the ground or onto a block. Feet are still as wide as your mat. Now, elbows are gonna stay, your arms are gonna stay straight even though they're gonna want to bend. Inhale, legs are straight. Exhale, you're gonna take your butt towards the floor. So elbows stay straight. The only thing bending here are your ankles, knees, and hips. Inhale, legs straight. Exhale, knees bend. Y'all look good. Nice. Now, the next time that your legs are straight, you're going to engage your feet, take your hands onto your legs, and inhale, slide on up. This time, instead of rolling both shoulders at the same time, you're going to do one at a time. Inhale, shoulder up, exhale back, and alternate sides. And just notice as you articulate one arm at a time, if you feel more. Like for me, when I do one at a time, I can feel more of what's happening on each side differently than when I roll them together. And you're still, of course, connected to your breath. All right, now this next one, after you finish your second side, if you have a strap or something like a strap, I'm going to have you get it, and you're going to, I like to double it up so that it's not so dangerous hanging down and you can't hit yourself with the buckle in the head. Now you're going to take your feet a little bit wider, which means that you might have to turn sideways on your mat. And we're going to take the strap behind us and have it about shoulder distance apart, depending on your shoulders. And both of you, I'd have a little bit wider stance. All right, feet are parallel or your heels are out. So I'd walk your hands in a little bit if appropriate for your shoulders. Okay, now you're a gentle tug on the strap. Inhale, body up. Exhale, you're going to come into a forward bend where your body's parallel with the floor. Your feet are pulling in towards the center, so maybe you feel those inner thighs engaged. You're still breathing, and now the movement is going to be inhale, hands up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to the lower back. And you're going to do that 2 more times. And if you feel like your arms are not moving, you give yourself a little bit more strap to work with. Now, next time your strap comes to the lower back, you're going to inhale and then exhale a little bit more deeply as appropriate for your body. And again, inhale, arms away from the lower back, and exhale to the lower back. We're going to do that 3 times at your own pace with your breath. And again, after the 3rd time, you're going to pause for a moment, make sure that your feet are engaged at a slight bend to your knees, and then inhale, bring yourself up. Beautiful. Now we're going to step the feet about hip width apart, and you're going to take the strap into your left hand and reach it up towards the sky, and then bend your elbow. And then you're going to walk your right hand up so that the hands are coming towards one another. So you start with the strap in your left hand, and then you're going to walk the right hand up towards the left hand. And some of you might be in a place where your hands come towards one another. Yeah, it's an exploration to see how your elbow bends. Okay, now gentle tug on the strap, one elbow pointing up, the other pointing down. You might turn towards the front of the room. Carefully. Now the elbow that's up, that foot is going to stay forward. Okay. Then you're going to step back with your other elbow, maybe about 1 meter apart, both feet kind of pointing towards the front of the room. Pull your legs gently towards one another isometrically. Inhale is up. Exhale, you're going to come forward into a forward bend. Inhale back up. Legs stay straight to the best of our ability, moving with your breath. Inhale is up, exhale, body comes forward, and you try to keep your arms in the same position that they're in, no matter where your body is, right? The arms, like the top elbow stays towards the ear, it doesn't drop forward as you come forward. Now, next time you come up, you're going to pause, release your hands, step your feet together. We're going to bring the strap into the right hand, reach up towards the sky, bend the elbow, left hand comes around the back body, starts to walk itself towards the right hand. Breathe, and just notice, does it feel different? Good. What's happening? How's your breath? And then you're going to keep the right foot where it is and step back, a nice big step back with the left foot, feet pointing forward, feet hip width apart, about 1 meter in distance. And again, you're gonna inhale up and exhale, come forward. The feet are engaged, isometrically pulling towards one another. You're trying to keep your elbows where they rest as you move up and down with your body. Inhale is up, exhale is down. Long, smooth breaths. And one more. And when you come up this time, we're going to release the hands, step the feet together. We're going to bring the strap in front of us. And of course, in any of these things that we do, if it feels better to have your hands on the wall or the bar behind you, please do that. So now your hands are shoulder distance apart. You're pulling on the strap. We're going to come up to shoulder height. Okay, and just for a couple breaths, I want you to pull on the strap and see where you feel sensation, if you feel sensation, anywhere besides your arms, because automatically we're going to feel our arms, right? But notice if you can feel anything in your core, in your hips, in your front body, your back body. Then we're going to pause for a minute and you're going to stop pulling on the strap. Then you're going to take that strap up to shoulder height, take your weight into your right foot, flex the left foot, and you're going to let the left leg guide your body. So as that leg comes up, possibly your body comes forward. And then inhale, you're going to bring your body up and knee up, and then the foot comes down to the ground. And then relax those arms. Make sure you're breathing. A lot of times when we get on one foot, humans like to hold their breath. Okay, so second side, strap at shoulder height, you're pulling, weight into the left foot, right foot lifts up. And again, inhale, and then as you start to exhale, the leg comes up, and the leg guides your body when to come forward. So you only come down with the body as far as your leg will go up. On the inhale, your body's going to come up, the knee will come up, and then exhale, foot down, relax the arms. Let's do it again, because why not? Okay, so strap up, weight on the left foot, right leg comes up. Again, move with your breath, leg guides the body as you exhale. Inhale, body up, knee up. Relax the arms. Second side, arms come up, gentle tug, weight on the right foot. As you exhale, body comes down, leg comes up. As you inhale, body comes up, knee comes up, and exhale down. And you're going to pause for a moment, roll through the shoulders and the arms. How are we doing? Anybody a little more?
Okay.
Good?
Good.
All right. We're going to make our way down to the ground. And I want you to have, when you come down to the ground, if you have them, a block and a strap close by. So thinking about your transition, what's the safe way to get myself from standing down onto the floor? And then I like to be able to have my feet so they slide. So for this part, you might either bring your body forward off of the mat or fold your mat in. So some options here, and most of you know this, maybe you don't like it, but you know it. Hands might stay on the floor, they might be up in the air, or they might hold on to your legs, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So inhale, arms are up, legs are extended. Exhale, arms come down, feet come off the floor, toes in line with the eyes. Inhale, arms up, legs down. So I'm going to do some options. You can keep your heels on the ground, have your hands on the ground. You could hold on to your legs as you come up. You cannot lift your feet as high, right? But you're exploring. You can have your hands on the ground as your legs come up. You're moving with your breath. Inhale is extended. Exhale, we find some modification of boat pose, Navasana. We're going to do it one more time. And in whatever position is most comfortable for you, I want you to hold that position and keep breathing. So we feel comfortable, you would be able to talk to me if I were to talk to you. And then on an inhale, we'll extend. Exhale, come forward into a forward bend. And then inhale, come up. Now we're going to do this a little bit differently. So again, always options. If it feels uncomfortable to have your arms extended, bring them down to the ground. So now your body's going to remain stationary and your butt and your legs. We're going to have the arms either extended or on the floor. Inhale is going to be up. Exhale as you start to come down, but we're not going to come all the way down. Inhale up. Exhale back. Are we good? And you're just kind of noticing. So working with similar muscles in a similar way, which one feels better in your body? Which one, feels, maybe they both feel good, right? Moving with your breath. This will be our last one. And again, you're going to come down to a place that you can hold the position, but you're going to keep breathing, right? So options, bend your knees, have your hands on the floor, do whatever you need to do or come out of it. Always listening to your body's wisdom. On an inhale, come on up. Exhale, last time into a forward bend. And then inhale, slide on up. We're going to bend the knees and you're going to get yourself onto your back body, okay? Thinking about safety, right? So if you roll back or you come onto your side, but you're going to get yourself on your back body. You're going to have your strap or something like a strap close by. We're going to keep the right knee bent and that foot flat on the floor. And you're going to take the strap on the padded part of the left foot. And then let's have one end of the strap in either hand, okay? Now you're going to bring that left leg down to a comfortable place towards your body, which for some of us, it might be perpendicular to the ground, right? You're going to find some place, and if you tend to hyperextend your knee, you're going to have a slight bend. Now, you're going to come onto the right heel. So your left leg, now that you have it in its comfortable place, you're going to hold it there. You're going to come onto the right heel, and you're going to slide that right heel down the floor. Keep breathing. Then you're going to slide the heel in. And then you're going to check in with your left leg. Does it want to come a little bit closer to your body or not? And if it doesn't, don't force it. And one more time, we're going to slide that right heel down. Now we're going to keep the right leg extended. And you're going to bring your left leg up to a place where it's perpendicular with the ground. And we're going to take both straps into the right hand. And very carefully, you're going to bring that leg over the body towards the floor without letting it drop onto the floor. You are in control. On an inhale, let's lift that leg up. And then we're going to pause for a moment, put the strap on the padded part of the right foot and bend your left knee, and you have that left foot down on the ground. And again, at first, we're going to walk that right leg towards the body to a comfortable place without forcing it, and slowly slide that left heel down the floor. Slide it back up. And then again, slide it back down. And you're still breathing all this time. I haven't reminded you the last couple of times, but you continue to breathe. And now you're going to leave the left leg extended, bring your right leg to perpendicular. Take both straps into the left hand. And again, you're going to slowly start to bring that right leg across the body. Long, smooth breaths. Don't let the foot hit the floor. You are in control. On an inhale, we'll come back to the center. We're going to bend the left knee, take the strap off the right foot, bend the right knee. So now both knees are bent with your feet flat on the ground. Arms are extended out to the sides. So a couple of different ways to do this next pose. You could take your block and place it between your knees and have your lower legs flexed and feet flexed, right? And you're just going to move side to side with your knees. Inhale, center. Exhale, move to the side. You could do it without the block. The block gives you a little bit more resistance, or you could have your feet flat on the floor and just move your knees side to side. So you're going to do what feels best, especially in your lower back, okay? Now, those of you who have your feet off the floor with the block between your knees, now, as you're going side to side, I want you to think knees towards your extended hand instead of just over to the side. So there's a little bit of an angle. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, knees towards the hand, alternating sides. Now, next time you finish your second side, if you have the block between your knees, you're going to take it out. If your feet are lifted, you're going to bring them down to the floor, and then we're going to bring our arms alongside our body. And I want you to feel your pelvis on the ground, and we're just going to tilt with our breath. So inhale, tilt your pelvis up. Exhale, tilt your pelvis down. Feeling that low back touching the floor. Noticing sensation or lack of it. Eventually coming to a place where we stop. And then I want you to find your block, or some of you might use a folded blanket or a bolster. We're going to place that block underneath the pelvis. And again, a couple of different options here. You could hold yourself up without the block. You could rest, and since we're coming towards the end of the class, my preference is that you rest your pelvis on the block, and we're going to take our legs up towards the sky. Another option, if you don't have a block, and just another option would be to have your legs pressing against the wall and your body relaxing on the floor. We're just going to stay here for a couple of breaths, and this would be the time that I want you to check in and ask yourself, is there anything that your body needs before we make our way into Shavasana? Right, so you might roll your feet around, point and flex your feet, you might bend your knees, take them out to the side, you might not move at all, but you're asking yourself, is there anything else my body needs? And if the answer is yes, then you're going to do that now. And when you're ready to come out of this, I want you to bend your knees and bring your feet down to the floor one at a time. Then lift your pelvis, take the block out, and you're going to do whatever else your body wants. And if you feel really good, like you're ready to move right into Shavasana, you're going to do that. And in Shavasana, we're laying on the ground in some comfortable way where you're warm enough, you feel supported. You might have a little something under your ankles or your knees, or even your neck, as long as your head's not lifted too much. But I want you to find that comfortable place, long, smooth breaths, inviting your mind and body to let go just a little bit. as your awareness starts to come back to your body and to your breath, taking a moment to notice how you're feeling, asking yourself what would be a really nice way to move. And then when you're ready, slowly making your way into a seated position. Do a really short breathing and focus practice. And so just having your hands on your legs or in your lap, wherever it's comfortable, where you don't have to hold them up. And also making sure your spine is nice and long, so breath, energy, blood can flow through. Make sure that the knees are comfortable, hips, ankles, so that the only thing you're focused on right now is your breath. Now earlier we were pulling the breath all the way down through our body. And now what I want you to notice as you breathe in with your nostrils is where you feel sensation on the inhale, just in the nostril. So you're gonna choose one spot. And once you choose that spot, that's the spot you're gonna stick with. And as you breathe in and out, doing your best job not to alter your breath. You're just breathing naturally in and out and focusing on that one spot. One spot, the same spot in your nostril on the inhale and the exhale. And you might notice things like temperature, moisture, sensation. Notice ease or struggle. And then letting go of that spot and allowing your breath to move back to its natural rhythm without you focusing on that spot and thinking about, one, noticing how you're feeling right now in this moment, and then thinking about how you might maintain this quiet place as you move through your day, or cultivate something similar to this in your life as you move throughout your day. And then thanking yourself for showing up and for doing the practice. And we'll close with my three of my favorite sounds, because there's so many that I like. So the inhale is going to be arms up towards the sky. The exhale will be the sound Q to the heart. Inhaling, arms open out to the sides, palms open. Exhale, the sound will be ah to the heart. Ah. And inhale, scooping up from the ground, the sound of Om to the heart. Om. So thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste. Always the best part. Up here.
Bye, Jackie.